Hey everyone, welcome to YouTube Mommy Meetup. We're here in a special live hangout. We are going to be doing a blogging hangout as part of Blogging Mommy Meetup, which is the sister site to YouTube Mommy Meetup. And I don't know how often I'm going to be doing these, but I really wanted to do this hangout today about collaborating on blogs. And this hangout is somewhat selfish for me because I really want to learn. And I thought it would be valuable for you as well to watch. And also, if you're listening in the podcast, I thought this might be some really great content. And I invited two bloggers here who were bloggers first before they were YouTubers. However, I met them through a hangout. I've met both of them in a YouTube Mommy Meetup hangout previously, and they're also part of the Blogging Mommy Meetup Facebook group. And first, I'm going to introduce AnnMarie. So AnnMarie, do you want to say your blog and also your YouTube channel, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm AnnMarie, and I'm from Canada, and my blog is itsjustmylife.ca or .com, and I'm on YouTube at itsjustmylifeca.
Perfect. Okay, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And also, we have Jendi. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello. Thanks for having me. I started blogging on jendysjournal.com in 2007. Right now, you can find me more on momprepares.com, where I am the editor and the podcaster.
Great. All right. So thank you both for being here. And like I said, we're going to be talking about collaborating on your blog. And I am a YouTuber first, although I do have a blog. I YouTube at Miss Diaper D. That's my YouTube channel, as well as doing this channel. And then I do have a blog at diaperdirt.com. And my blog has actually been mostly a hosting platform for my podcast, the Diaper Dirt podcast, although occasionally I do put up blog posts in addition to the posts for the podcast. I haven't really branched out a lot and done a lot of collaborations with other bloggers. I've done a lot of collaborations with YouTubers, and I feel pretty comfortable with all those different styles. In fact, we did a whole hangout talking about YouTube collaborations and different ones you can do and how to go about doing those. So you can check out that hangout if you're interested in that. But I don't really know all the differences in collaborating with bloggers. And blogging has been around longer, but it's not something that I started with, like I said. So I feel more native to YouTube. So we're going to, both Jendi and also AnnMarie have different ones that, they're going to go through, and we're just going to kind of chip in and talk here about the different styles. And I'm going to ask my own very, naive questions because I have not done very many collaborations in the blog. So we're going to start out with the first one, which is something probably most people have heard of, which is a blog hop. And also Jendi brought up a progressive party, and I have no idea what that means at all. So I'm hoping that Jendi can explain what that is. And then also, what is a blog hop for someone maybe who has never heard of that? So what is that? Let's just define it first. So Jendi, you want to go ahead and take that?
Sure. And I do want to say that a lot of these are very similar. The differences in them are subtle. But the blog hop is where, say I would start a post and talk about a certain subject, and then I would link for the continuation of that subject maybe to AnnMarie's. And so it's very specific, going from mine to hers, and then she then might write the next part of the post and then continue it to Dana's, and then you'd read a little more on Dana's, and then you would go to the next one. So you're hopping from blog to blog, and you are directing your traffic exactly where you want them to go. The progressive party is very similar. It's just that then they take it to, maybe it's like a scavenger hunt, and each one give you a certain word or a picture, or you're looking for an answer to a question at each place. So they're very similar, just different names between a blog hop and a progressive party.
So what do you do at the end? So you have your post, right? And then you're saying quite literally, like at the end, you would just say, to find out more, go to itsjustmylife.ca, and then I would just link it right there in the bottom of my post. It's just a regular link to the next post, right?
Right.
And that's it. Okay.
Yes, you would link to the next person's blog. And so then, sometimes they say, if you wanted to be eligible for the prize at the end, you have to leave a comment on mine before you go to the next one, like that.
And how is that organized usually? Typically, is it through groups of people, or how did
Yes,
you?
just some people get together and let's do this, and then somebody coordinates it.
Okay, and then and then there might be a giveaway at the end. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Have you both done those styles before? How about you, AnnMarie? Have you done that before?
I have done not the progressive one, but the hop one. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. And then on top of that, like, so when I hear blog hop, also I think of link ups. So that's kind of the next one. So AnnMarie, I don't know if you want to sort of just take that a little bit. I've also heard about linkies, right? So I've heard people say, put it in the linky, and I have no idea what that is. So link up, I think I understand where everybody just would link up their individual blog posts, and then
Right.
maybe you have just a list of all the links. You want to?
Of the same. Usually it's of the same topic. Like on Wednesday. Wednesday's very popular, being Wordless Wednesday with a lot of bloggers. So they have their photo posts, and at the end of their photos, there will be a link up. If you have one, that you can share it via posting your direct link to that post, and then somebody stops on it, reads it, and wants to go to see more from other people, they click on it and it drives the traffic over there. But there's no guarantee on something like that the other person has a link to other people's posts either, because not everybody does the link up at the bottom, and the link ups aren't the same. They're unique sometimes to that blog. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like they all are sharing the same code that will have the same amount of links in it.
Okay, so you're not having to use a plugin or anything, right, on your
No.
site for the linky specifically? No. Okay.
No. There's a couple of ways you can do it. There's InLinks is a very one that I use a lot right now. It's INLINKZ.com. It's InLinks. There used to be a MicLinky. There was a Linky Tools. Sometimes there's some paid ones that you can use.
Yeah.
But what you do is go there and tell it when you want it to start and when you want it to end and how much information you want. Some people require an email and a name. Some just let you just put a URL in. And then you take the script that generator gives to you and put it in the HTML section of your blog post. And then when it goes live, the people, whoever else, can come and put their link in. And like she said, for example, 5minutesfrommom.com is a popular one for Wordless Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so, but they just have the link. Like if you want to link your picture there could be a whole bunch on their page. Somebody else might have a Wordless Wednesday link up, and that might only have 5 links underneath it if you don't get people to come put them in. So a way that helps with that is on momprepares.com on Thursdays we do a Green Thumb Thursday, and they actually have a group of homestead bloggers that have all agreed to participate in this Green Thumb Thursday every Thursday. So there's a coordinator that gives us the code so that everybody has the same code. So I could go to any of it's like 5 to 10 blogs. I could put, let's say you have a post about gardening. You go to momprepares.com on Thursday. You put your URL to the post in the link up. You could then go to any of those 5 to 10 blogs that inserted that code, and your link will also show up on their post. So that's a nicer link to do if you know there's multiple hosts, because now you know your post is getting more exposure. But a lot of them, like she said, you're just going to be on that one post.
Yeah, I was going to say this. What Jendi just described is better promotion and better. It's just better all around because it's on so many different blogs that it's going to get sight and seen a whole lot more than just the individual ones.
Okay, good. All right, that was a lot of information that I'm definitely going to be listening back to in the podcast. I'm like trying to follow along. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next style, which is the interview blogger. So let's kind of talk about that. And AnnMarie, I'm going to let you start, and then I'm going to run downstairs to check on my baby and make sure my husband is watching her because I hear her crying and it's so distracting. So I'll be back in 2 seconds while you start explaining what an interview blogger is. So I will be right back, I promise. Go ahead.
No problem. I know a series of doingers. I've known a few people that have done a series of interviews with various bloggers that they know, and it cross promotes because they have links to that blogger in their posts on their blog, and vice versa. Because I was interviewed a few times, so the actual interview is posted on one blog, and then on my blog I'll say I was interviewed by so and so. You can catch the interview here on hers. So it's cross promotion on both blogs and getting seen on both blogs. So that's essentially what interviewing, or vice versa. You can also interview them and have it posted on your blog. But that's kind of the gist of just interviewing the people. It helps people get to know them, just like with YouTube collabs, the same sort of thing. You're getting to know new people, so your audience, their audience is being introduced to you, and you're introducing your audience to the other blogger. Are you familiar with those, Jendi?
Yes, I am. And it's an easy way to do an interview for busy people or for people that are maybe not as much technology to do audio and video, because they can just type you the answers in the email.
Yeah.
The cross-blog conversation is really similar to the interview style, except what the lady that I know, I think she started cross-blog conversation, was Kelly McCasey, and they only gave one question kind of at a time. So she would start, let's say she asked me a question, I would reply to that question, then ask her a question, then she would put up a post the next time answering my question and asking me a question. So it was like a series of continuing instead of just having the interview all at once. And then she would usually kind of wrap that one more around a niche topic or, just a specific subject.
Right. Oh, perfect, too.
It really made, it was intriguing for me because I would especially click back and forth between the two blogs to see, oh, what was the answer to the other question, or what's she going to say to this,
Yeah, I like that it was done in separate posts, too. It's kind of nice because it keeps the interaction going back and forth.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry if I missed that, but it's two different posts that go back and forth, right? So in the interview, so you have like your post, and then again at the end there'd be a link to the other person's post. Is that what you're explaining?
Well, the one that Jendi describes was a little different than what I did. A blogger approached me saying they wanted to interview me to introduce their audience to me. So in turn, she asked me all these questions. She published it with a photo and all about my blog and what I blog about. And then on my blog, I put a little blurb saying I was just interviewed by so-and-so, the post is up, directing my readers to go over to her blog just to see that, not only see that post, but hopefully they would also look for further information about her since she featured me and they are my readers. Do you know what I mean? But the one Jendi explained was a little bit different and kind of cool. I like it. I've heard it being done, but I like that it takes a little longer to do.
Yeah, because it gives you more blog content,
Yeah.
And then I saw somebody do it that was kind of mentoring someone that was coaching and giving business information. So then she would answer a question and give an assignment, and then you had to go to the other blog post to see if the lady did the assignment and how it turned out.
Oh,
and
perfect.
then that lady would ask another question, and you would jump back to the mentor blog to find out what's the next step.
That is so neat.
Do you have an example that you could give me later after the hangout, and I'll link it down of one of those, because that sounds so interesting, and I'm like, I want to see it visually. So if you give me the link to it, then I can put it in the description box for everybody to go look at it.
Sure.
Cool. All right, I see some.
That it
go ahead.
creates a lot of content.
I see some comments here, so we'll say hi to some people here. So let's see. It looks like Chantel Weemashad is here, and if I can get it to come up. It says, I think blogging is such a cool idea, but I can't write to save my soul. That's why I blog. All right. Well, never say never. You might get to it later. All right. And also a lot of people just
always post, you can post videos and pictures. It doesn't have to be a lot of writing on the website. I know Tim Schroyer has been talking more and more about creating another spot on the web and not just relying on your YouTube place. Have another spot that people can go to in case something happens to your channel or YouTube does something crazy,
Yep, that's always been my thing, is that, kind of be different places, because if any one particular social media site dies, then people can still find you somewhere else.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of people talk about your blog or your website being your home base, because that's actually something that you kind of own. You don't own YouTube, and they can shut down or they could close down your channel at any time. So, if you have that website or that blog, then you kind of have a place that's really yours that can't really be taken away from you. Let's see here. And our family's log says, I love the idea of Wordless Wednesday. I have so much to learn about blogging. So do I, Katie. So do I.
If Katie is a video blogger, I've seen Wordless Wednesdays done with video also, and then they just embed it, and then you link it to the link up just to get some more eyes on it.
Okay, all right, so let's move on to the next style. We were talking about, cross blog conversation. Did you talk about that already while I was
that's the
in
one
action?
that jumps back and forth.
Yep, okay. And then guest posts, did you talk about that while I was away working on baby? Okay, so we talk about guest posts next. So Jendi, do you want to start that one about guest posting?
Sure. This is probably the easiest one, or I think it's the easiest one, because basically you can check out a person's website and see what kind of content they usually share and how you could fit good content of your own into that, and then you tailor write a blog post, and then you basically email it to them and say, I have this blog post, would you be interested in posting it on your site and linking back to my site? And so then as a recipient of that, you get a chance to say, oh yeah, that's great content, I can use that, and it'll give me a little bit more time to work on other content, sure, I'll post it. Or you can say, oh no, it doesn't really, not really the kind of voice that I want on my site, no thank you. A lot of people use the guest post as promotional tools, because if they have a new ebook coming out or a product or something, then they write this blog post that will go great on a more popular site, but then they link in it to whatever they want to promote. So a lot of times the more popular sites are always looking for good content, more content, original content. So if you do a really good job at it and they accept it and put it on, you can get a lot more eyes onto your name and hopefully onto your site.
Okay. And have you done them before, AnnMarie? Have you done a bunch of guest posts?
I've done them quite a bit back and forth. I think also the key to doing a guest post, especially when you're taking the time to write it up and you have somebody in mind you want to send it to, do your research on that person, because I mean, I do get the cold contacts from people saying this would be perfect for your blog, and then I look at it and I'm like, do you even read my blog? Because it doesn't fit at all. So really know, just so you don't look foolish, just really get to know what they're writing about, just so that when you're sending it, and try to converse with them, kind of build a relationship to them. I think it's better received that way.
Okay, and you said email it, right? So let's say like I got something emailed to me for my blog. Do you just copy and paste it into a blog post? And this is like a question I had actually in our group, Blogging Mommy Meetup. Or do you change the author on it? Is there a certain plugin that you guys use if it's a guest post? Or do you just on the bottom say this is written by, because if people are used to reading your content and then they get in their RSS feed, something new comes in, they see the title and they're thinking, oh, that's something I really want to read from Jendi, and it's not from you though, it's a guest post from someone else. How do you prevent your readers from getting a little bit upset? Like, when do they find out it's not written by you? Do you in the beginning write, this is a guest post? That's something I kind of don't know how to broach myself. Like for the YouTube Mommy Meetup website, for the blog for YouTube Mommy Meetup, I'd love to have all of our members contribute content to that site, and I'm like, how do I give them appropriate credit if I were to say take an emailed post from them about something about YouTube, how to collaborate on YouTube, perhaps say, how would I give them credit in the post as an author?
Usually at the bottom of the post, all of my posts by me are signed by me on my blog all the time, but usually at the bottom of a guest post I will have a bio about them, and it'll say it was written by who it was, and a little bio about them and about their blog, so people with a link to it too to go over if that is the case. But yeah, I always definitely so that they know who it's from, right?
Do you do like an intro in the top, like from
No, I
you,
usually
and
leave
then
it for the
saying this
bottom.
is
I
okay?
usually leave it for the bottom myself.
All right. How
It's
about you,
really
Jen?
up to you and what you want the site to be. A lot of I have done it the way AnnMarie said a lot. I've also done it that at the top it will say today I'm happy to announce I'm happy to give you this post from our guest so and so, and then go into the post. So you could do almost like you were announcing a guest on the podcast or something, and then just put it in written form, and then at the bottom maybe put a little more of their bio to kind of help people consider going to the other site. And also then one thing on momprepares.com, we actually have a sign-in, or we have a writer that is called guest. So when we get one like that, it will say right under the post, then it will say by guest, and then their bio is at the bottom. So that's a couple different ways. Just depends how much you want it to be known. Like on YouTube Mommy Meetup, if it's going to be obvious that it's a lot of different people, you might not need the one at the top that people will come to expect that, oh, let's see who, they'll scroll down to see who it is on that post. But if it's yours that is 95% you, and all of a sudden you throw in somebody new, then I would probably put at the top, oh, I'm excited to have a guest today on my post, and this is so-and-so from such and such a place, and I hope you enjoy reading it, you know.
Yeah.
I like that, and I also like the idea of doing the guest. If you do a different author for that and just do guest, that way you don't have to keep changing it each time if you had multiple different guest posts. So good tip. I like that. And I see here we have a question I think is pretty good from Rachel from Carly Nicole Elliott. She says, seems like finding bloggers is harder than finding YouTubers. And that's how I feel, Rachel. I don't know, maybe being a YouTuber first, that's how I feel. Maybe you guys don't, Jendi and AnnMarie, but in YouTube, everyone is right here, and you can type in who or what you are looking for. With blogs, they're scattered all over, and there seems to be a lot of blogs. I agree. I think that's also partly why I think I have a hard time. Is there one place online where you can search all the blogs, or maybe just, how do you find, people to collaborate with, other bloggers, other than Blogging Mommy Meetup, which is, we all know, out there now as a Facebook group. So
there's lots of blogging collaboration groups. Like even on Facebook, I'm on quite a few of them.
Okay.
But generally it's that. But if there's a certain topic like that you focus on blogging, I think finding someone else that's blogging about the same thing is just by searching it out would be easiest. And if you've already tried the route of posting in like a blogger group or a networking group.
I think that maybe just like on YouTube, we connect by commenting on people's videos, watching their videos, and obviously blogging is the same thing. You have to follow someone else's blog, comment on their blog. I found even just within the Blogging Mommy Meetup group, we do, a weekly link up. People put posts in there, and then I go to the post and I comment there. So I get to know everybody's blog, and then I'm commenting on there, and we're forming a relationship. They come to mine, and I think just by going to other blogs and commenting and you have to interact in order to, make friends, right? So it's kind of the same thing. If you find a blog that's sort of like yours and you like and you enjoy it, then just start to get involved in that blog. So also Taylor and Baby Z asked the same question. How do you go about getting someone to collab with you? So it's building that relationship is what I would say. Would you guys agree? Is that how other than other groups?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jendi, how have you made the most of your connections for collabs?
Yeah, probably. Well, I've sent out guest posts. I'm in a mastermind forum, so that's a great place. And just other ones that we've commented back and forth. Also, if you're really serious about it and you go to a live event, you can see face to face, and then it's really easy to shoot an email and say, hey, let's collab.
Yep. Have you been to Blog Her then, or have you been to, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but you've been to other conferences and then basically you're just meeting them, giving out business cards, right? Is that what you guys do kind of do people still give out business cards at blogging events?
Yeah,
kind of old school.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
I have been to Blog Her. I would say it was probably one of my least favorite ones, but
Because
I
it was
have
so
been
big?
there. Yeah, it wasn't the best place for me to make the connections. It's a great place to meet a lot of people, but to make the tighter connection, friendship, I would go someplace else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right, let's see next. Did we talk about blog series? I'm sorry if we did. Did we talk about that yet? Nope. Okay,
No.
AnnMarie, do you want to talk about a blog series?
Well, okay. Basically, a blog series is when you have a few like blog first part of a series, like the topic in the series, and then on another day the next one will. So you're always feeding the traffic and keep feeding it through. And then, so when the person posts about the second day to their readers, they'll say, you know, to see the first day it's posted at this blog, and then the next day where it's going to be posted at this one, to continue with the same topic. So it's a series, you know, it's a series on a certain topic, but yet it goes through.
Kind of like the blog hop, just like Jendi, you
Yeah,
said in the
kind of.
beginning, a lot of
Yeah.
them overlap. So, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar. Okay. And then group giveaways. Let's talk about, I guess, how would that work? You guys, I guess that's sort of like we were talking about before, where you sort of link between the different posts and then you say comment here, and at the end you'll have a giveaway. Is that what you would say it was?
You can. Lately, the Rafflecopter thing has been really big. And then, like in the group that I'm in, we asked how much money each person wanted to contribute. So when you get 5 of you together and you each give $20, then you've got $100 right there. And like for the one giveaway, we did a Kindle Fire or something, and so one of the ladies collected the money and got the Amazon gift card and stuff, and somebody set up the Rafflecopter, and then, you know, for each of the entries, it's either go to their blog or like them on Facebook, subscribe to them on YouTube. I got a bunch of YouTube subscribers out of it the one time we did it. Follow them on Instagram, you know, whatever. Follow them
Yeah.
on Pinterest, whatever you want to do. And then, you know how the Rafflecopter works? It opens up and drops down, and then you can get the different entries. So when there was a group of us doing it, it was just a small amount of money to put in, and then the people came to enter the giveaway because it was a bigger prize.
Yeah.
And then we agreed to go live on a certain day. So then all of us posted on our website our own post. So it was our own words around it and why we were in it and why we were doing it, and then the Rafflecopter at the bottom. And then through that, they would go to the other websites.
Okay. And you know, I've never done Rafflecopter myself. I know what it is. I've heard of it. I've been on a couple times where I've seen it. But is that a plugin, or how would somebody go about doing that on their own site?
Tool. It's
Okay.
a giveaway tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But you can't do Facebook likes anymore.
Oh, really?
As
Oh,
of
okay.
today, was it today or yesterday, the new ruling, you can't do Facebook likes anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been a whole rash of giveaways lately because everybody likes him before the change. But yeah, it's the same thing. It gives you the code to put in.
Okay. Gotcha. And then you can kind of set the criteria as far as what people have to do in order to enter. And then does it do the drawing for you? It'll do it for you?
Yeah, by random.
Okay.
You just press the button and it'll give you and for those, most people have a link to some social media site for their blog.
Okay. And then will it notify them and everything that they've won, the winner? Or you do that? It'll tell you and then you contact them?
Right.
Okay. All right. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about, and that is reblog. Do you remember someone posted about that in the group, in the Facebook group? And I think that's what it was called, a reblog button or whatever. We were kind of something that I've never done before, but somebody brought it up, and it was from High Noon. She was brought it up, I think, and how you can push this reblog button and it'll take somebody's blog post and then put it onto your own site. And Jendi, I don't think you ever did that before. How about you, AnnMarie?
I haven't either, but I think that would really mess with the SEO.
And I looked it up, and it takes like a portion of their post and then puts it onto yours, and then you're supposed to be kind of, I guess, responding to their posts in a way.
Okay.
So it's like not taking the whole thing, it just takes a portion, and then it kind of gives you the opportunity to sort of respond, and then maybe they might take notice of you. Say you have another blog that's much bigger and you wanted to get their attention, maybe if you wanted to respond to it. But I've never done that. I don't know how many people do that anymore. Maybe not so many, since neither of you have ever done that before.
Well, I'd be afraid of the powers that be with the whole SEO and all the content rules and all that. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I was also real wary of that. I don't remember seeing that button. I don't know if she was on WordPress.com or what she was in. I know on Tumblr you can reblog, but Tumblr was set up for that, and it's a lot of pictures and stuff. And when you
Yeah.
go on Tumblr, you kind of know that that's going to happen. But I just know there's been a lot of copyright things, and there's been a lot of
Mhm.
angry people that their sites get scraped and stuff. And I would just stay away from that. I mean, you can link to them and they'll get a ping back and see that you linked to them, and or you can tweet to them, "Hey, I linked to your site because I really love this so much." Another thing that we do on momprepares.com is we call them roundups. We don't put it in the title, but so let's say for Thanksgiving you want to have recipes for green bean casserole. So then you might go through your different websites and find your favorite recipes for green bean casserole. And then on our post, we'll say, 7 green bean casserole recipes. And then we'll put the title of the recipe from such and such a site, and we'll link that. And then we'll put a couple sentences about, I like this recipe because it didn't have any onions or something. And then we'll
Right.
put the next one. And you have to be real careful with. You shouldn't take the pictures from them. We usually just get a generic picture at the top then to make for Pinterest. But then they might get the ping back from that also, and we're creating content for our site. So it's kind of a collab and kind of not, but that's also another way to say, hey, I really loved what they did, this is why, without taking their actual
Right.
content.
And you've kind of done all the work in that regards. And as long as you're going back to the source and linking to the source, there's no problems. Like, and I think most bloggers would actually like that, right? Because it's, kind of free advertising for them.
Yeah, like they're featured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody in the comments watching knows or watching this back or listening to it back later and they've done a reblog, let us know either in the Facebook group or you can go to YouTubeMommyMeetup.com and leave us a comment on the post there
Hmm.
for the podcast, or leave a comment on the video here because we want to know if you've done it and it was successful, or if it wasn't, if you want to share your story, let us know about a reblog. But yeah, just linking back and then maybe for the ping the ping back would be a better idea than actually and taking someone's content and
Yeah.
just posting it like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So we had a couple questions that we'll sort of look through quickly in the Facebook group. And the first one, let's see here. It looks like Rachel in the group asked us, what collabs have you done? I think it sounds like you guys have pretty much done almost all of them, and I've done none of them. So, and then what have they done to increase your readership? So, let me ask that. So, has it really, do you feel like you've had success with your doing these collabs or not so much? Maybe which was one that maybe was good, what style maybe helped you the most? AnnMarie, do you have anything off the top of your head that was really good that helped your blog to grow in readership
I
as a
know the
result?
interview style has worked really well. Also, the doing a blogging series with other fellow bloggers of similar has worked. Um, I'm, for me, the jury's still out on the links, the linkies ones and stuff like that. I think it might get you for that exact moment, but I don't know how many actually keep coming back after that. So that's hard to judge, but you know, also I've been blogging for 14 years. I'm actually in January it marks my 15th year. So,
Congratulations.
it's been a long time. So it happens, it takes time. It's not a 3 months and everything's, rosy. It does take time.
Yep, everything worthwhile takes hard work and time, right? How about you, Jendi? What can you think of what maybe was one successful collab or your most successful style?
Um, I did want to mention something about the link ups real quick because I do agree with that. Like actually putting your post in, I don't know how much kickback you get from that. Sometimes it helps build the links to your site. I think the people that are hosting the link up probably get more out of that.
Hmm.
The way that I found to make them more return on investment is I go to the other ones in that link up. So I put my link in, then I go and I click through and I leave a comment on somebody else's. But then usually there's people that I will leave a comment on, will come back to mine and leave a comment. So they're not actually going through the link up, they're going through where I left a comment. So I use it more as a tool that way, especially when I'm looking, like I said, food ones. There's a lot of food ones, gardening ones, and if I know the people are interested in that kind of post, and I go through that. So that's about the link up. The one that I had the most success with was probably when I was working on selling a product or building a mailing list, and I did a guest post, and I had somebody that has a lot of readers agree to post it for me, and then that I was able to make sales and get my mailing list built up through hers, so that worked well for me. The giveaway ones, like I said, I got more subscribers and likes and stuff from that, but again, the people aren't necessarily building the community, they're just building the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Post
so it
when I
might
have
help you that
giveaways.
day, but after
Yeah.
that, no. Go ahead, AnnMarie.
Yeah, when I have giveaways on my blog, you get lots of views and it drives lots of traffic, but they're only there for the giveaway. Like there's contesters and people that do giveaways like kind of almost like a living. And so they're there for the giveaway and then they leave. So I don't know how much, you get back from it, but still traffic, I guess.
Yeah, I've never enjoyed doing them too much on my YouTube channel, so I don't know that I'd like doing them too much on my blog. But all right, so next question from Meg from Smarty and Stevio. She says, as a blogger, how do you connect with your audience? And this is something that I have a question about too. I mean, on YouTube, she wrote, on YouTube, we have the comments section. Do you find that people comment on your blog directly, or do you utilize other media sources to connect with your community, such as Facebook, Twitter, etc.? I think that's a really good question from Meg at Smarty and Stevio. So like she said, on YouTube, a lot of times we feel like we get a lot of comments, and I guess it just has to depend. Maybe if you're very into the blogging community, just like on YouTube, you might get more comments and have easier interaction. What would you say to that, Jendi, about interaction with your readers? How to spark it, or?
It's the same kind of thing, but if they leave a comment, you reply, or I'm curious what AnnMarie says with blogging so long. Like I have noticed, I haven't even blogged that long, but I've noticed that the commenting on blogs has really gone down. I'm
Yes.
curious if you've noticed that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I have noticed that. I find I get more comments on when I post it on, well, not more, but I generally get comments when I post it on Facebook too, to say, okay, this blog post is up today and this is what it's about, and I get comments on there more so sometimes than I get engagement on the actual post, because I don't know why. It's you see the views are there, but the actual engagement I find has gone down as far as comments.
Do
Yeah.
you think it's saturation that there's so many blogs now, or what were you going to say, Jendi? Go ahead.
My theory is that it's like a social media takeover. Like probably when AnnMarie first started blogging, even when I first started blogging, there wasn't Twitter.
No.
It was like MySpace. Facebook was college kids only. All the conversation that the moms were having was on the bottom of the blog posts. So now the moms are commenting on pin. So it's kind of like they're interacting on those sites, and they'll bounce out to read content and bounce back to that other window where they're interacting on social media.
Yeah, you cut off a little bit there, Jendi. So you said they used to comment at the bottom of the blog post, and then now they're commenting on social media sites. I'm thinking that's what you said, right? Like Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Okay.
When I started blogging, there was no social media.
Yeah.
Right? So it was all on your posts. But now I find the reaching out via Twitter and Facebook. I probably Twitter more, because I'm on Twitter more. You get instant contact with me on Twitter, on Facebook. It's just my preferred platform. So, but yeah, I find a definite difference in the commenting, and it is directly linked to social media.
All right. So it's harder now, definitely. So I guess, I know I post a lot of my blog posts and podcast episodes on Twitter, on Facebook, and like you said, like me, people do tend to even just interact right there on Facebook about it. After they read it, they go right back to your Facebook post and just comment there, as opposed to actually on your blog post. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know some people, when they get so much interaction like that, they will use a plugin to put the Facebook comments either on the bottom of the post. And for a little bit, I was even doing that with like YouTube comments. There was a way to import the YouTube comments so they copied underneath the blog post where the video was. But so that if you, but I kind of stopped it because it wasn't like true interaction with the blog post, and it was another thing that could go wrong in the technical side.
Yeah, it wasn't getting more engagement actually on the blog.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next question. We have just two more, so we'll try to move through them here so we don't take too much of your time up tonight. So Crystal from Brought to You by Mom, her question was, what are your tips for collaborating with giveaways, which you talked about, but her question specifically is when everyone pitches in for a product, do they also help cover shipping? How do you divide the cost? So
I've done a few like that. We've done like a big Christmas and winter giveaways like that. And yes, we all pitch in for shipping. And what it is, the person that's hosting it puts a set amount for shipping, and if the shipping is less than that, they will buy a gift card to add to the price that's going out. Just so they're not stuck with the whole shipping costs.
Okay, good. Jendi, same thing, split it?
Yeah, same thing. And the ones I did were kind of virtual ones that we gave a virtual gift card if possible so that we didn't have to worry about the shipping. But yeah, everything was split.
Good. All right, and then Katie from Our Family's Blog, she asks, what are some tips for approaching other bloggers for a collab? Do you need to have a fairly large following on your blog to do a collab? As a newbie blogger, it's hard to see how a collaboration with another blogger with better readership wouldn't be totally one-sided. And that's a good question that comes up a lot with YouTubers too, you know, subscriber count. And if one blogger has a larger base, you know, how does that work really? Would you suggest maybe trying to find someone of same size?
It doesn't matter how much readership you have compared to them. Like if your content is good and viable to them, that's what matters. That's how I feel anyway. That's with me.
Jendi, would you agree?
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. And like AnnMarie said before, if you do your research on that person, you see what their website is about, you see what style of writing they do, and you tailor write a post for their site, and you can even throw in some flattery, you know, or here, or oh, I'm really impressed by what this person did, you know, and send them the blog post. Then in essence, you're creating content, you're doing part of their job for them because they're going to put that on their site and they're going to get ad revenue from it. They're going to get clicks, they're going to get traffic, eyeballs, everything from the content that you gave them. So it is giving them something.
Yeah, like you've done my work for me.
Yep, I agree. I think that, you know, size doesn't necessarily matter, and I think a lot of people, they do understand the value of just also being out there. So I follow Pat Flynn. He has a very big blog, and he's always talking about be everywhere. That's sort of his slogan. And so people, you know, who are bloggers or YouTubers, a lot of times they recognize, you know, the more places you are, it's one more place for your content to be found and help to spread the word about you. So, you know, I wouldn't see that as being something to hinder you or stop you from approaching someone because, you know, if you have a relationship, most likely then, you know, if you have a relationship, then they'll probably be willing. You're going to say something? I feel like
everybody was there at beginning at one point in time, right? So it's not like they don't know what it was like to just be starting out either. You know, everybody was new at it at one point in time.
And I think it feels good to give back. It does. You know, if you get to a certain point where you're able to help, I really enjoy that feeling of being able, because like you said, you remember when you were smaller, and it's nice to get to that point, and then it feels really great to be able to help someone. It really does. I know I feel good about it when I can do that.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you have a guest post on somebody else's, then you're gonna market that as much as you can. I mean, even if you only have a small following on social media sites, but you put it out on all your social media sites and you link to that other person, that's another way that you're really helping them because you could be introducing your followers to somebody new.
Yes, and then they'll appreciate that you introduce them to someone else,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then wherever you are, if you're on someone else's, I mean, even if it's one new person who finds you, that can be incredibly powerful. And even if you only have 20 readers, those 20 readers could have 20, each one of them could have 20 friends, and you think about it, it's kind of,
It's one more person than you had.
every one person is
Yeah.
incredibly valuable. Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, this has been awesome, you guys. I can't thank you enough for being here with me and going through these, which I am going to be listening to this back on the podcast so I can really try to digest everything that we talked about. And everyone who is listening here or who is joining us here in the comments, thank you for being here. And come and join us on Facebook. And we are, there, more than happy to help, to collaborate. So that's Blogging Mommy Meetup. And I want to give both AnnMarie and Jendi a chance to let everyone know where you can go to find more of them. So AnnMarie, you want to start it off? Where can people go to find you?
They can find me on my blog, obviously. It's just mylife.ca or .com. Across all social media, It's Just My Life CA, except for Twitter, I'm Annie Kenny, because I've been Annie Kenny there forever. And I keep thinking I'll change it, but I can't. I just can't do it. But across every other social media platform, It's Just My Life CA.
Okay. And how do you spell that on Twitter for those listening?
ANNIE CANNIE. So Annie from Canada, so Annie Kenny.
Okay, great. And what do you mostly blog about on your blog?
I'm homeschooling. It's just my life, really, my life. So everything from homeschooling to everything happening in my life. That's why it's called It's Just My Life.
Perfect. I love it. It's a great name. All right, Jendi, how about you? Where can people go to find you?
My lifestyle one is jendysjournal.com, which is just kind of the same thing, anything that's happening to me, but my more serious one is momprepares.com, where I am the editor, and it's more regular posting there than on jendysjournal.com. But when you go to jendysjournal.com, you can find all the links to my social media sites.
Perfect. And Mom Prepares is also a podcast, which I listen to every week. It's very interesting, actually. And I actually didn't even realize there was a whole community of, which is a whole nother topic. I guess I really do want to talk about that with you once, Jendi. But I was like, what is this preparedness? This is I was like, I never even knew this was a whole community of, I don't know how you even phrase it, being prepared for, homesteaders. And, on the podcast I learned about, all kinds of bees and hogs and goats. It's awesome. So I'm really enjoying that. So check that out. Mom Prepares, the podcast. And then I am Dana Ryan. You can find my YouTube channel at missdiaperd.com. That is the Diaper Dirt channel. You can also find me at diaperdirt.com, and you can find me at the Diaper Dirt podcast, and that is everything from birth to potty training. I talk a lot about babies and also cloth diapering, so you can check me out there. And I am Miss Dana Ryan on Twitter, but links will be down below in the description box and also in the show notes if you go to YouTubeMommyMeetup.com. And if you're a YouTuber, join us on Facebook at YouTube Mommy Meetup. And if you're a blogger, you can come join us at Blogging Mommy Meetup. And so I think that is going to do it. Also, if you're listening to this timely when this is going up, right now we have a sign-up sheet for a new YouTube Mommy Meetup Secret Santa. So if you want to join us for a little bit of fun there, then you can find us in the Facebook group to sign up for that. And that's it. All right. Thanks so much for being here. Bye, guys.